Yeah.
Yep.
Oh no, well we still have Vizcaino.
Vizcaino's on the team still.
He's
on the practice squad.
Which is actually well, just real quick on that one. Like I think that's 100% the best move for us because obviously our history of getting rid of kickers has proven
it's been horrible.
Yeah,
Lambo goes out and kills it.
And Younghoe Koo goes out, kills it. It's like, all right, no, we're keeping you, but you got to get better. So like, yeah.
Welcome everybody. We're the Bolt Bros. We are actual brothers, and we're all Charger fans. And we just want to engage with the community. We talk about the Bolts every single week as brothers, but we want to engage with the Charger community and have some fun in the process and talk all things Chargers. Bolt Bros!
Bolt Bros!
Bolt Bros!
Let's get into it! And the big news this week, our special teams coach, Mr. Swinson, is no longer with the Chargers. And you mean
Swanson?
Swanson?
Oh no! It's Samsonite.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, but it's interesting. I really think a lot about how bad our special teams have been for so many years, right? And God, this year I kept thinking, we're going to be so much better. Vizcaino, we let the money badger go. He's playing for the Colts. He has a banner year. We let Q go, and he's kicking damn field goals left and right for the freaking Falcons. And it's embarrassing to me how bad we've been and how inconsistent. Now, an interesting thing that I noticed too. Some of the beat writers for the Chargers, they talk about during practice, special teams has a big place in practice.
Right.
It takes up almost a third of the time for practice, and yet we still can't execute, which is so frustrating. I think the biggest reason why they let Swinton go is I think there's an option for another better defensive or a special teams coordinator to come in. They maybe have an eye on somebody else. There's a lot of people in free agency. Sure. Joe Judge. Really good. He could be someone that they'll bring in. But it's really telling that I just think they never improved, and they were given a lot of time to improve, and they still did not execute. Right. Hence why I think also Brandon Staley probably went fourth down as many times as he did. He didn't have confidence in special teams in general.
Yep, 100%.
Well,
I think is though.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kyle.
No, well, okay. Well, what I was gonna say is that I think I actually saw somewhere that we have one of the shortest punting stats or something like that. Ty Long, despite his name, he goes short a lot on his punts. So I think that's just a big thing. It's just okay, well, I guess he's not able to actually punt it down as far as we wanted to get him to there. It's obviously, and of course, you see McAfee or Pat McAfee, whatever, talking about how punts are the golden zone is getting in that that 5 yard from that sweet spot. And I don't know how many times, I don't think Ty Long's actually gotten there for us this entire season. So, well, obviously he didn't have the opportunities to, but yeah, I don't think that's, you're right though. Just going back to the offense stuff, sometimes our better special teams is our special team is Justin Herbert.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Well, and the one thing about our special teams, and I mean, obviously we started with Tristan Vizcaino, and I mean that was fun to watch him kicking field goals that were just shanking left and right, and it was just all over the place for us. And so we got the stability, and we got lucky to get stability through Dustin Hopkins, who did a really good job. 90% on his field goals, 18 for 20 when he had his opportunity, long of 50. Extra point percentage was 93.8. I mean, in comparison to Tristan Vizcaino at 66.7% on extra points. And and then obviously Andre Roberts, he had that phenomenal run back, 101 yards. He looked good. Yep. And weeks coming up to that, there was a lot of kind of threats of having those long runs. And it's been years. I mean, we just talked about it. I can't even think of the last time we had really good special teams.
I think it was 20 years. I think it was
It's
20 years
probably
since we ran
gotta
that.
be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. And I think that might have been Cromartie running one back, 109 yards, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was 20 years ago. I want to say that was a shorter amount of time, but
Oh,
that's probably the last time I could think of as a special teams where we've really done some things. I mean, Drew Tranquil, I think 2 years ago, he had blocked punts, and he did some kind of cool things like that on special teams, but we just have never been a very strong team. I mean, Anthony Lynn, as a coach, was very favoring all of his guys on his coaching staff and not really wanting to fire that many guys. I know we did that with Wisenhunt. We got rid of him, but I felt like we always stuck with that same guys all around.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, with this firing with Swanson, with
Swinton?
Swinton?
he to me, the way I view that with Brandon Staley, he's like, look, man, I need Super Bowl ready based coaches too, not just players.
True.
We need guys that are going to make the right calls at the right time and make the right choices for players.
Yeah.
And I think with Hopkins, I personally think that we should re-sign him. I think Andre Roberts, we should probably re-sign him.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we made those choices after we got rid of Vizcaino. So
yeah.
Yep.
Oh no, well, we still have Vizcaino.
Vizcaino's on the team still.
He's
on the practice squad.
Which is actually just real quick on that one. Like, I think that's 100% the best move for us because obviously our history of getting rid of kickers has proven
that horrible. Yeah, Lambo goes out and kills it.
And Younghoe Koo goes out, kills it. It's like, all right, no, we're keeping you, but you got to get better. So like, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's insane. I think I saw Younghoe Koo was like, I think the third best kicker in the league. And
yeah.
how many clutch kicks did he have for the Falcons this year was pretty phenomenal too.
Right.
I mean, but once again, whatever. That's in the past. That's a decision we have to live and die by, and hopefully we'll get stability in that realm.
Right.
Yeah, and I think when you look at our special teams in general, right, we also had a very young special team group.
Right.
Every rookie pretty much played special teams this year.
Oh yeah.
They weren't in the league for very long. I felt like our coverage was okay in some areas, but at the end of the day, we needed to improve. So I think my overall ranking that I would give our special teams, I'd give it probably a C+ at best. Because I do think Andre Roberts is a green shoot. Dustin Hopkins is a green shoot. And those are things that can improve, but our coverage should have been better. We should have had more gaps for Roberts. But yeah, that would be my grade.
Yeah, I'd probably be right there with you, that same grade, C+. One thing too, through the draft or through free agency, I think Ty Long was I'll say he had a very long punting motion. So he was very long to kick the ball off, which basically led to some blocks. And I think that's something that we have to figure out next year is have that clutch kicker.
Yeah.
And I think Hopkins is a good guy for our field goal guys. I think Andre Roberts is good for our returns, albeit he did have a fumble at the wrong time against the Raiders. But hey, we all make mistakes. But I think he's stabilized that kick return game for us. So C+ is where I'm going with it.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with that on Ty Long's long punting motion. But I would say for me, the special teams, I'm going to start and I'm going to say a D+ for me on special teams.
Harsh.
Yes.
Ouch, bro.
Yeah.
Well, here's why. I kind of feel like special, like, because you guys just actually made it clear in my head what special teams actually is as well. It's like it's mostly a lot of our rookies and a lot of like a lot, not necessarily just rookies, but also our depth is on special teams. So it's other receivers, it's other cornerbacks, it's other linebackers, whatever, just in there trying to do the special teams to try to get the job for the next thing. And what my thoughts are is, throughout the whole season overall, like it made clear to me that we don't have good depth on our team. And so like if
No.
our starters go down, we're absolutely screwed. And it's like, like, I mean, just look at the Texans games. Yeah, sure, they had their starters are out too, but their starters stepped up, and ours, or their depth stepped up, and ours didn't. And for whatever reason, I don't understand why, but that's just it. Like, special teams is mostly the depth type of people,
Exactly right.
and so like if they're not performing well, then our special teams is not performing well, and if they're not good there, then they're not going to be good and like on offense or defense. So that's why I give them a D plus. I mean, I think they're all probably really good play. They're way better than me by any means or whatever. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Well, and go back to some of the years that we had some. I guess the special team like player that made plays. Like think of Kasem Osgood back in the days.
Yeah. Osgood was the man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He was the man on special teams. Multiple Pro Bowls. Phenomenal guy on our special teams to make those tackles.
Right.
I mean, he was a good receiver too. We just don't have that guy. I mean, Drew Tranquil is the only guy that comes to mind. And once again, he was off and on with injuries and everything too. But obviously he's playing defense too. But we just didn't have that guy to really make those tackles or at least play pretty good on coverage. I mean, not to say that we did horrible or anything, but there's not enough veteran experience, which once again, this offseason is, I think, going to bring a lot of that.
Yeah.
I actually just pinged you guys the link of this lineups.com. It breaks down the whole NFL team rankings for special teams.
Okay.
Chargers are dead last.
Yeah.
Dead last. We're 32. Yeah.
Wow.
So the interesting part about that is this. So the second worst team is the Rams at 31.
Wow.
But here's the argument though, right? The Rams are in the playoffs. They did well.
Yep.
So there is some arguments to the fact of, hey, does my special teams need to be that great? Maybe there's an argument to be made that we put too much emphasis on it. Yes, we didn't execute. But at the end of the day, it's a really interesting stat that the Rams are in the playoffs. They're moving up. They're doing well. And we were dead last. And it's really interesting. You look at the list. Number one on that list is the Baltimore Ravens. See, that's a complete team. They play well, good defensively.
Yeah.
They play well offensively, and their special teams is good.
Well,
I think that's really what it goes back to what Brandon Staley says. All three phases of the ball.
But that also works out in their favor too, because Justin Tucker is a freaking money kicker, dude.
Like, absolutely correct.
That guy doesn't miss a freaking ball,
dude.
Yeah, he never misses.
Dude, he's got some kind of like sixth sense with that freaking. I don't know. He's got a sexual relationship with that football. If you ask me, dude.
He sold his soul to the devil. He sold his soul to the devil. That's what it is.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, him knocking that field goal against the Lions to be the record kick. I mean, that was
money.
I mean, that guy's straight money.
Yeah,
I remember fans were talking about how our kicking woes were going so bad for the Chargers. Everybody was like, how many first-round picks can we give the Baltimore Ravens to get Tucker onto our team? Because, like,
exactly right. Yep.
I mean, that guy is just an absolute beast, and I mean, absolute one of the best kickers of all time for sure.
Right.
I think it's just more. We got a lot of great pieces here in place, and offensively, we have a lot in place. We invested a lot in the offensive line. Corey Lindsay, second team All-Pro. Slater, second team All-Pro. I don't know if Filer got on that list or not, but we have two second team All-Pro offensive linemen. One was an acquisition through free agency with Lindsay. Yep. One was our first round draft pick. A rookie to be able to even get thrown into an All-Pro and Pro Bowl situation, both for those guys. That's phenomenal to see. Now, we have the issues with free agency. What are we going to do with Mike Williams? Are we going to bring him in back or not? What are we going to do with tight end? I think we have a fantastic pieces there that we've already built going into this year. And I think Staley did a fantastic job of investing money on that side. Now, defensively, we know that's a mess, and we know where we need to go. I think this is the year of defense for us.
Yeah.
Build a championship defense that could compensate the championship level offense for the Chargers.
Yeah.
Now, same thing for special teams. Mind you, that's not something I focus too heavily on, but those are things that we do need to focus on to make sure we stabilize that as much as we can, hopefully to not be last in the league in this situation. So we just get like a 20th ranked, 15th ranked special teams and we'd be fine.
Yeah,
You know,
middle of the class.
Yeah,
middle class.
Mid-grade. That's for sure.
Yep.
Sure.
Hey, C's getting degrees, baby. C's getting degrees.
That's right, baby.
That's right. Yeah.
But
I think that's a good recap of just sitting here saying, like, this is going to be the year of the defense. If they don't work on the defense, we're probably going to have the same result, in my opinion, as 2021.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. We got a lot of money we could spend. I think we need 2 run stoppers in the middle, right?
Yep.
Whoever those 2 are.
Yep.
Butt and gut, dude. We need butt and gut in the middle, dude.
Butt and gut,
dude.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, great.
Yep.
Guys, thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching the video all the way till the end. Bolt Bros.
Bolt Bros.
Bolt Bros.
See you, boys.